North America and the #1 tourist attraction in Alaska. And only the most ambitious mountain climber even thinks of climbing Mt McKinley. So, of course, Good Morning America Sunday co-host Antonio Mora went in search of some of those folks, and he asked some of these intrepid souls what it takes to climb Mt McKinley.
In geography books, it's Mt McKinley, but those who climb and love the mountain prefer to use its native name.
Denali. I keep coming back to this mountain because it's really special.
Tahoe Rowland and his all-boys adventure club are pioneering a new route up the South Buttress. They are 6 of over 1,000 climbers who attempt to reach Mt McKinley's summit each year. They come from all over the world, but it's all routine in the summers for the climbing mecca of Talkeetna, Alaska.
First person in there sets up the tents in case the other 2 planes behind us don't make it in.
All expeditions are signed in at the ranger station. Climbers review their itineraries there and review a required safety video.
Unsuitable flying weather can delay rescue efforts for...
Gwen Filter and Kim Webster are planning an unguided quest to the summit.
What we'll do is mountaineering ski up and bury the skis and cache whatever gear that we're not going to take to the summit at about 11,000. And then we'll put crampons on at that point and do the rest of the summit, come back down and ski all the way down to Kehiltna Base.
The first obstacle that faces climbers is just getting here to the base camp on the Kehiltna Glacier at 7,200 feet. It isn't easy because Mt McKinley creates its own weather system. Low clouds forced us to wait for 3 days before a break in the skies finally allowed us to land. Pilots in ski planes ferry climbers on and off the glacier. Their air traffic controller, Annie Duquette, base camp operator for the 3-month climbing season.
My weather reports decide whether a pilot comes in or not, which sometimes can be a really hard thing because the weather changes very erratically up here. Sometimes you could be sitting in Talkeetna 5 or 6 days and we're in fog and you may be clear down there.
Once on the glacier, climbers prepare for their expeditions. Some take a day or 2 to acclimatize their bodies to the high altitude.
This is home just for probably 2 nights.
Even here, weather is a factor. Intense sun, regular snowfall, and thin air cannot be ignored.
Well, we'll be back in a few weeks.
The battle, though, begins now. Walls of ice and rocks, sub-zero temperatures, and howling winds, all on the way to the summit of Mt McKinley at over 20,000 feet.
How many days has it been like this?
This is the 4th day.
Adventurer Vernon Tejas has seen it all in over 20 years of climbing. He shot these pictures on a recent expedition to the top.
This is Tejas. Got a copy?
We've gotten an awful lot of snow up here, so the avalanche...
No one is immune to danger on the mountain. Avalanches like this one we saw are common. Often, rescue efforts are successful, but over the years, many climbers have lost their lives. Mountaineers accept this.
You don't dwell upon it because it can, turn positive strengths and whatever into negative results on the hill.
Everything that one does in life has some dangers, and we know what the dangers are and have prepared as much as we can and accept the risk.
The risk is minimized by Annie's effort to stay in touch with climbers at all stages of their ascent.
They'll let me know where they are and how they're feeling, and I log this at night. So if, say, down the road, I don't hear from them, I'll go back to see the last time I talked to them, and then we can figure out where they are.
While reaching the peak is always the hope, just challenging the mountain is the ultimate reward.
This mountain is so brutal, it's so fierce. And when you meet every single challenge of it head on and push through every wall, it's just joy. It's enormous. It's all-encompassing joy.
Now, as glorious and exhilarating as that looks, we must remind you that mountain climbing is extremely dangerous. Earlier this week, 1 woman died as the result of an accident on Mt McKinley. 11 people have died just in the last year on Mt McKinley. So we hate to have to report on the tragic side of a story, but the experts remind us that the most important part of any adventure is safety. Coming up next, the sweet sounds of the sourdough chorus.